donations.
Why didn't I think about
Donations.
this before? I should have ran this right after I played the first clip. This is why
Well, right after you said begging. Oh
oh
man.
man. But hey, good luck to Kev. It seems like Kev on stage might meet Kev Samuels. Uh so I think it means that either the majority he didn't spread his revenue enough to the point where you have multiple people buying ads or buying slots to run ads.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only way you drop 70% out of nowhere. In addition, people are not actionable. So whoever is supporting or watching your podcast, they don't give a hell about the products that are being promoted. First of all, you got to ask yourself, whatever is being promoted, does it fit your audience? That's how you run a business. You try to
Yep.
find out whether there is a click there between what you're promoting and what the audience wants. You don't have the right advertisers on your platform. So you got to find the right advertisers. No, you don't start advertising begging, in a sense, how you want to call it. He turns around, he doesn't adjust the model. He doesn't adjust. Maybe you gotta ask yourself: are the people that are watching, is it are they buying because there is no interest from them, or whether the products that are being promoted are not what they're looking for, or first, or second of all, do I need to change my audience?
Yeah.
I mean, the latter is harder because I mean, he's doing like 100, 200K, 90, 50K views on his podcast. So he has views.
Yeah.
The only thing is people don't give a hell about whatever you're promoting. So maybe find better advertisers that fit your audience. That means you don't know who your audience is. That's what I'm trying to say.
I understand what you're saying, KR. I'm saying this. If you are on Patreon, I'm gonna re- repeat what I said
Reiterate or
and
repeat it.
reiterate, and that's even after having broken up this. You've lost my attention for a while because I did some research, last minute research, by the way. But anyway,
Hmm.
the if you have Patreon, and Patreon can give you a more consistent income, it makes sense to put more on, let's say, to focus where you have let's say more influence in how many money you get. You're not dependent on, you're less dependent on um ads and those type of things.
Hmm.
So it's the easy way would be to direct more people to Patreon.
Yeah, it is. It's more reoccurring revenue.
Yeah. But the problem with that is, what you said. You're basically feeding a dying business model,
Hmm.
but you always need the free version, right? So there's always the free version. It's always going to be there, and it still needs to be tight. It still needs to be good. Um, I think that, but let's say the solution is going to cause more problem if you want to upgrade the podcast. Then you would need to put more time and resources into that, not less.
But he's not upgrading the podcast, right?
No,
Staying the same.
it's dying down.
Well, the revenue is dying,
The revenues die. Yeah,
but
but I'm
because
saying the solution would be to up it. So focus on bettering the podcast.
bettering the advertisers, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So yeah,
Understanding
so
your audience. He doesn't understand his
yeah.
audience.
Well, so when I say the podcast, let me formulate. Let me rephrase what I want to say, because you're right. Every time you're correcting me is annoying, because you're saying what I'm trying to say, but I'm not saying it. So it's making you look smart. So let
Hey, two-digit IQ, two-digit IQ, beating the lawyer.
so what I'm saying is that he should focus on improving the increasing the revenue on the podcast, not, so that's what I want to say. Not focusing more on Patreon, because that,
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
I understand now what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
This is all a
Th-
flim flam. That
yeah.
man is increasing the. Oh, hey, you're
Instead of
very.
asking people to help you, that
What
they should,
are you
you
trying
should,
to say? That he's trying to do a flim flam where upping the he's upping the money on the right side, and then later on he's gonna kill the podcast. Well, maybe I shouldn't use that word, but
yeah, you can, yeah.
he's gonna kill the podcast, and then he has the revenue, and those people are still on the streets.
That's what I'm, yeah. So because
Oh,
and first, and
understand.
also, who's gonna control how many, how, let's say they pay more, you know what he might say?
It's not enough.
Not only that, KR, not only that, KR. That's,
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I cannot finance your salary with 100 times $2. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
but not only that, KR, not only that. Listen, he said he is asking everyone to increase their Patreon by $2, right? $2, $3, which is a very relatively reasonable amount. If you have a lot of people putting that amount of money, it amounts to something. It can amount to something uh, reasonable, or at least impactful.
Mm.
Now, the problem is this, KR. He also said he's gonna increase the content. If you're gonna increase the content, that would mean more costs, because it costs to produce. If instead of two, you're gonna produce four, that would mean double. Well, not everything is double, because maybe you rent the, if you have your own studio, you're gonna pay double the rent, but double the time you pay the producers, double the time you pay the editors. So it's going to bring costs. If you just, it doesn't seem as though it's a calculation that took place. It's just like you put $2 $3, and
Hail Mary.
it should do the job. And
Yeah.
I'm saying, to your point, that if he focuses on, bettering the revenue model on the podcast will be able to carry itself. But I believe that the reason why he's choosing the Patreon route, because the Patreon route is more, it's easier. It's like, if I subscribe today, he's gonna get the money
Tomorrow,
today.
today, and tomorrow.
Whereas if you start posting on the podcast, it's gonna take time before you can get your return on investment.
You have to pay someone to research who your customers are. That's gonna cost money.
It's gonna cost money. So
Maybe
it's
maybe you gotta ask yourself, all that time, all the money you've been receiving. Um, this might sound harsh, and I don't want to beat the guy up. You gotta ask yourself: are you a real entrepreneur or are you just a comedian?
yeah.
Do you
Well, I
have
think
someone? Do you have someone who's running the business, or are you running the business? Because I do think that if you're spending all that money, if you're let's say you lose, so you could afford three people on the payroll based on the ad revenue you were getting from the advertisers,
Mhm.
I guess. And I'm talking about people who, I think that's advertisers that are advertising during the show, not the ones that are through YouTube. That's what I mean. All that money you could pay.
Affiliate marketing.
Yes, affiliate marketing. So you could pay two people. What you could have done is also pay someone to find out, to research your customers better, and also increase the ads, increase the product in startups. They call it product market fit. Your product fits the market. Who's your market? You don't know. Obviously, the people those companies who are buying ad slots, affiliate marketing, they do research. They give you a code, and they run the code. The amount of time the ads are being ran during those shows, and then they ask themselves, is the money we're paying worth the amount of business we get? That's how you research. That's how you run a business, not this way.
Yeah.
And I do agree with you, by the way, even though you weren't as
Clear as I wanted to be.
clear as I wanted to be. The end was, I do agree on that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was my fault. I assume responsibility.
You're
Understand
like
me?
Samantha Lee these days.
I assume responsibility. No, but it's
Run your business better, guys. This
Yeah.
is YouTube is a business. Don't try to run it.
It's a non-profit because it's basically asking for donations.
Donation. You know what? You know what?
Donations.
Why didn't I think about this before? I should have ran this right after I played the first clip. You know, this is why.
Right after you said begging. Oh man.
Oh man. But hey, good luck to Kev. It seems like Kev on stage might meet Kev Samuels.
No man, come on.
Well, okay. Maybe Kev on stage podcast might meet Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, maybe.